This bitch got some nerve. Bitch, who you talking to? The king shit. Bring back Folly, they said on your lap and help you dream shit. Fly that bitch on Spirit, she don't like it by your own shit. Got my weight up 2-3 cribs, I own shit. Talking big business. Flipping pie, top, I'll pay my time. On me cheat, the map potato loader. I can't do no fry, this shit major. She a 304, flip that on your page. She gon' suck me for no wages. Send her home, sign that waiver. Boy, my page is too thin for these hoes, I'm through. You wasn't even getting no pussy, and I bought you some food. It's like you plotting on me, baby, and I thought you were true. You for the street, that's okay. I just thought you were my boo. You can't play me, cause I pee shit. Marby roll G shit. Nothing for the free ski. Pay me in a sheet spit. Trap out Monday, 30, we go dumb it on the weekend. Drill so hard, this shit here like on Lee shit. Did this shit made, she a 304. Flip that on your page, and when she put that pussy on me, I go crazy. I was talking business. Flipping pie, top, I'll pay my time. Trying to split a quarter billy with the guy. Be this shit made.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 119 of the Splash Cast, the Around the League edition, Monday Night Raw. I am your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. We are back. We are 100% of your home HBCU homeboys. We are ready to get it in. Also, Garrett Wilson, you are an idiot. Please do not celebrate. Instead of celebrating somebody else's touchdown, block the man. Damn fool.
So, as you guys know, if you are welcome, everybody that's been tuned in with us, we just finished the pregame. If you clicked on over from the pregame, you know that as of this taping today, 9/11, thoughts and prayers to the families of the victims of 9/11. We always want to send a thank you up to the heroes that gave their lives to save everyone else and stand up for the freedoms of this country. RIP to those. Always remember 9/11. Yeah, Garrett Wilson. As of this taping, the Jets are playing the Bills. Aaron Rodgers has twisted his ankle. And Breece Hall, who was the rookie of the year, or should have been if he wasn't, even though he tore his ACL, coming back from a torn ACL, just broke a 98-yard run, or would have been a touchdown run, if it wasn't for Garrett Wilson, who didn't block the last cornerback and was celebrating.
Doing this.
Norwood is big man.
Look on tape. I cannot wait for them to watch this. Son, you had one job. You're celebrating for another man's touchdown instead of you put your hands in the air instead of putting your hands on somebody. That's a problem. We can't win like this.
Oh, my God. Oh,
now
my
we're
God.
3rd and 5, and you might mess around and have to kick a field goal. Bonehead.
Welcome, ladies.
It's a lot of stupid football. So much stupid football. Oh, there it is right there. There it is. This is what happens.
We started the pregame off with a Florida rant. Now we starting the show off with a receiver rant. It's football season, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know.
I hate stupid. I don't know what happened this summer where people forgot about football altogether.
Well, let's get started, man. Y'all know what it is when it comes to the Splash Cast Monday Night Raw. We start off with our HBCU news around the culture. It was week 2. HBCU, some big games in the SWAC, MEAC as well. CIAA had some good games as well. I want to say all of my teams lost in the HBCU section. Like anybody that I'm affiliated with except for maybe Virginia State. I think all my teams lost.
Shout out to Candace.
No. Her parents went to Central. I'm claiming that. So Central, with the win over North Carolina A&T in a long historic rivalry where Central now is winning. Delaware State lost to Akron 57-0. Winston-Salem won. Tuskegee won 36-10.
No, that's Army. State. That's Army, not Akron.
Oh, Army. Sorry. Well, then there you go. Army. Georgia Tech beat South Carolina State in the MEAC as well. So there are some other games, but in the SWAC, look at that score right there. Miles College upset Alabama State. Woo! Now that is very interesting. See that coming. Alabama State was riding high. They just beat Southern in week 1, which may not be as much of an accomplishment as you think after this week. And then they go and lose to Miles College.
Goes Frazier.
As well. So it's kind of hard to see. Some of these other, I'm gonna go here. I'm just going to the scoreboard. Go to the SWAC. Let's do it that way. Sorry, y'all. It's a little easier for me to see the scores. And let's go hide that. And boom. There we go. So Bethune-Cookman play Miami. Grambling play LSU. And I really just wanted to show y'all this Grambling LSU score because I wanted y'all to know that it was not as bad as it looks. It looks bad. It's 72-10. It's 72-10. But at the end of the first quarter, it was 14-10.
Yeah, they LSU. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened with this game. LSU struggled with Grambling in the first quarter. Struggled. It was a dog fight. I'm looking because college football in elite levels this week, and I'm looking like I keep looking and I keep expecting things to get out of hand. And they didn't put him in. He's booted and shoulder padded off. This is very bad.
High ankle sprain.
Which that's the basketball.
Yeah, that's the 5. That's Aaron Rodgers has now been taken. I don't know. We may call this the running Aaron Rodgers update. I don't know, but he has now been taking pads off in a boot after 3 plays.
Yo, they said that his whole highlight tape was him running in with the flag. It's messed up, but it was funny as hell.
But back to Grambling, man.
Grambling and LSU had a dogfight, and then after that, LSU, I think they took high offense to that and proceeded to put a basketball score up on them.
Jaden Daniels threw 4 touchdowns in the second half. The second quarter alone.
Because I was ready for them to trick it off so I could DM your sister and be like, y'all going to lose the Grambling too, huh? Y'all losing the HBCUs now.
No. They would have ran Brian Kelly out of there. Yo, Quentin Williams is unstoppable. Texas Southern, another basketball score against Toledo. This one was never in check. It was 22-0 in the first 2 minutes. It was 22-0. Bethune-Cookman beat Savannah State. If you remember, Savannah State had I believe they joined the MEAC, and then they left, and now they're back in 1AA. Well, I'm sorry, division. I don't know what you call it. But Bethune-Cookman won 31-6, getting their first win of the season. Miles College, as we said before, beat Alabama State 21-17 with 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Kind of crazy. Hey, another struggle win. South Florida. Now, we said this on Saturday Morning Live. We were like, South Florida gonna have a problem with
and they had a problem the whole game. There was no point where they were just running away with this. And this is the one that I kept refreshing. I was like, come on, fam, you can do it. You can do
because at one point it was tied 14-14 and deep into the second quarter. And I was like, I want to say they had a turnover that they ended up getting a field goal off of because it was about to be 21-21 at halftime.
We was all rattlers on Saturday, let me tell you. I wanted that win so bad.
Because, I'd be ready to go to work like,
oh, man. USF, huh? And I already hate USF and UCF because they think that they're like legitimate football schools. And I'm like, hey.
They about to be in UCF going to the Big 12 now. They're going to be playing Dion.
USF, yeah. Yes, this is the school that went undefeated that year and then decided to tell everybody that they went undefeated.
UCF,
even though they
right?
didn't play anybody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alabama A&M beat the hell out of Lane College. Stephen F. Austin beat Alcorn State. Tennessee State wins and beats out Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Nice.
Southern. They scored on the first drive and the last drive and scored nothing and did nothing in between.
What? Yeah, you want to go for beginning of the game, end of the game, son? The hell you doing now?
And Jackson
got to play
State,
48 minutes.
Jackson State had a busted coverage screenplay go for 90 yards, and that was kind of the backbreaker when Southern had finally cut it down to a 3-point lead. And then Prairie View played Abilene Christian and lost as well. But overall, in black college, they were really well represented. I think in those games where they, other than Toledo and Texas Southern, they showed that they can hang with some of these teams, like the Grambling LSU game in the first quarter, or FAMU versus South Florida. You just kind of need. They don't have the depth, and we always run out of steam like in the second half.
Exactly. That is, I think, more the indictment than the skill level. Now there's a skill level, and just offensive line, defensive line, there's going to be a size difference. But the depth of these schools where you have these 3-star, 4-star, 5-star back to back to back, just as the game progresses, you're going to run out.
Yeah, man. So I saved this for the last one.
Now, I take this loss with a grain of salt.
It still sucks for Hampton to lose to Norfolk State, even though they played them at Norfolk.
Now, the thing is, I've heard two different reports, but in both reports, the number is large. Hampton, I think, had somewhere between, I've heard both numbers reported, 35 players ineligible, 21 players ineligible, but you can't have that many players ineligible and be competitive. For it to be an 8-point game and have at least 20 players ineligible, it's a hell of a game. I know that, that doesn't go into the box score. But
I don't have no more victories. I ain't giving them nothing. No. Because what kind of football program runs 35 ineligible players? Fuck out of here. Y'all should have had y'all stuff together. If you're the better team and you're the better team, I can see 1 or 2. I can see 4 or 5, maybe 6. 35 or 21-35 is egregious. That's egregious. That's
if you
embarrassing.
Think about it, 22 is that's 11 on 11. That's a team.
That's embarrassing. You should lose. You can't have that as a coach, as an athletic director.
You're gonna lose if you can beat a team minus 21 players. That other team they don't need a program anymore. They're a football club.
I don't care who that team is. You don't know who could get hurt. I don't care if it's the third string or second string. There's no way you should have that many ineligible players. It shouldn't happen. Yeah. It shouldn't happen. So,
and as we know more about the ineligible players, we will tell you more. At this point, it's been kind of hush. But
they're gonna be right back next week, and they're gonna be Howard. We told y'all, Morehouse. We told y'all Morehouse. Howard beat Morehouse 65-19.
Run it up on y'all, and they did. And did.
Here's another game that we were all refreshing. That Akron versus Morgan State game. Morgan State shut out Akron in the second half until the last drive. Their last 3 drives. I think they scored on one of their last 3 drives to take the lead. They actually, if I'm not mistaken, Akron's offense didn't score in the second half. They won on a scooping score at the end of the game in the fourth quarter to take the lead. Morgan State should have beat Akron. They should have beat Akron. It is what it is, man. Morgan State is they gonna be a problem. Them and Bowie up there in Maryland, they out there.
Yeah,
they out there. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the HBCU segment. Next week is some big games. Touchdown. We're going to take a second. Give us 2 minutes. We'll be right back for our...
Wait. Hampton Howard this weekend. If you're there, please support. Send us the photos. Tag us. But, yeah, it's a big game at Audi Field. I know all our Hampton people and the DMV will be there.
Yeah, man. Hampton Howard this weekend. Big game. I want to say there's a big game in the SWAC as well. North Carolina Central plays UCLA. It could get ugly, Central, but that could be interesting.
I'm a closet Central fan. I've been that way for a while, but UCLA is gonna try to.
Yeah, they're gonna try to send a statement. Florida Memorial and Grambling. Well, we'll talk about all of that.
Legitimately going to send a statement to your house.
We'll be right back.
The bill that you want.
We'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned.
Come back with beverages. We drinking now. We done got through the adult portion of this. The rest of this is just things falling apart.
For you. We'll be right back.
No shots to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Peace. Be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 119 of the Splash Cast Monday Night Raw. We are back with our football segment, news around the NFL and NCAA. Got a few things we're going to talk about today, but before we get started, man, let's talk about this real man of genius is what you named him. This man on the sideline, who was covering the game at the Oklahoma game, catches the ball, opens it up as a beer, and drinks it. Shout out to him. It was the Oklahoma SMU game. I'm glad I didn't bet on that game. He gets an award for that.
And shout out to the perfect timing. You got to be prepared for your moment, and then you got to execute. And he did, and so did these guys.
With the brews, man. So the TD celebration with the brews, they scored right here. Kansas State scores, and quarterback cracks a beer and shotguns it in the end zone. Shout out to them as well, man. The thing is, I wanted to talk about these brews because on Saturday, your boy bet 2 games. Your man bet 2 games, I want to say. Should have bet 3, but I didn't. And I won those brews, so I am up 2-0. 2 6-packs to 0 for the season.
Paid in full, ladies and gentlemen. And Norwood always pays his debts just like a Lannister. I paid what I owe via Cash App. I was tight. I did not expect either one of those games to go that way, probably because I would have bet the other way. I'm highly disappointed in the way that my season starts, but it's not how you start the season. It is only matter how you finish the season.
Yeah, but when it came to football, man, everybody was excited. Last week we told y'all about hey, let's update them. Norwood, Charter and Spectre, interception bills. Charter and Spectre. Or Spectrum.
Yes,
Charter
back,
Spectrum
baby.
has come to a deal.
Whatever it is, we are back. Let me tell y'all. Number one, it was no longer a problem for me, man. I had called in the reinforcements. I'm gonna tell y'all as we look at Lebrons Elite
you plugged
setup,
into the matrix.
My setup is not
emails.
that setup. It's not that. It's a little hook or crook. But let me tell you, I had 3 screens going at the same time. And then at one point I had the 2 games here split so that I could watch 2 games on my TV. This is what I need. Sometimes you see things in life and they allow you to know where you need to go next. And this Lebrons Elite college football setup makes me envious.
Yeah, man. So Spectrum and Charter, as we said, they've come to a deal. And y'all got like some exclusive stuff. They added they sweetened the package a little bit or whatever. But
they should. Hell, we had to miss the first week of football with that. No ESPN for a week makes
tough. My
life very difficult considering I'm a sports podcaster. And yeah, I had no answer. When they take it out of your cable package, there is no answer. There is no, hey, I need to speak to the manager. Ain't no manager to talk to. Shut the hell up. When we fix it, we fix it. They knew they had to fix it before this 9/11 Jets game, though. They knew that. It was, hey, we're going to fix this or it's going to be bad for everybody. And I can only imagine how many customers both parties have lost here.
So you were talking about your setup and how you had like the word that I can't say here, but I can say it. The nigga rig setup. So you had that, and instead you said you wanted what LeBron had.
No, mine just ain't LeBron's. I got a big screen, I got a computer monitor, and I have a big computer monitor.
LeBron got 9 big screens as one big screen.
Big block. Then he got the L. That's fire.
And what you don't see, as you do see, is nobody ever talk. He got the 4 championships just right up under the TV. Like, I want to let y'all know. Like, I don't think those 4 championship trophies stay there. I feel like he has a trophy case, and those 4 championship trophies were taken out for that photo or that video op. And if I'm LeBron, I do that because I'm LeBron. I can do that. What you gonna say? Nothing.
I kind of agree with you, but I do what you want to, bro. You won the 4 championships.
Bruh. That would be the blackest thing
everything
ever.
I say gonna sound like a hate anyway, because what don't I have? 4 NBA championships.
LeBron out there. So it was tough, man. It was tough. As we said before, Bama started. It all started with Desmond Howard, who was on the way. Oh, we got sound? Come on, God. Oh, yes, we do. Desmond Howard is walking into the Alabama airport in a Texas shirt.
Everybody's just assuming Caleb Williams go number 1 overall in the NFL draft.
With a Texas shirt and with his Texas shirt and the white chair. And the white chair obviously is a reference to the Montgomery beatdown that we saw at the Ferry. And it's hilarious that he had the audacity to walk into Alabama doing that. And then Desmond Howard had that on stage at game day with the Texas Longhorns logo on the white chair as he picked the Texas Longhorns to beat Alabama.
The white chair has become a symbol of strength for the African American community.
Similar to the
I saw a lady today when they say that they don't provide you a seat at the table. Bring your own white folding chair. I said, oh, Lord. I like it, though.
Yeah, man.
I love it,
man.
actually.
So, Desmond, while this was funny, I, just like Desmond Howard, I said, you know what? I don't really know about Alabama's quarterback situation. Nobody has they picked Jalen Milroe. Whenever a team like Nick Saban, a coach like Nick Saban says, you'll find out who the quarterback is, and he doesn't name until like the day before, 2 days before, that means ain't nobody separated themselves. Nobody.
Oh,
So,
I think he's definitely celebrated himself. So
Jalen Milroe?
Separates, not celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate, but he has definitely separated himself as a halfback. That dude is not a quarterback. Would not be on my team. Not now, not ever. No. I said that the whole game. We have a chat, of course, because it's Splashcast versus the world. Shout out to the world. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe. But I kept saying, Nick Saban, bench this kid. Take him out. He is not it. And Nick Saban rode down that Old Town Road with that, and that was embarrassing.
So Texas ended up going into Alabama and beating Alabama 34-24, outscoring them 21-8 in the fourth quarter to win by 10. Uh-oh. Are you? What happened?
Nothing. We still rocking.
Oh, okay. Quinn Ewers threw for 349 yards, but the person on this photo that I want to bring y'all a chance to, the Georgia Bulldogs lost their best receiver last year to the transfer portal. A.D. Mitchell, Adonai Mitchell. He is known as the Bama Killer. I called him that from now on. He had all of the clutch catches for Georgia in the playoffs came from him the last 2 seasons. Even though he was hurt, he transferred to Texas so that he could be with his newborn daughter, according to him. Of course, I'm sure there were some convincing from some dead presidents as well. But with that being said, A.D. Mitchell had 3 catches for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns, both touchdowns coming in the second half. Steve Sarkisian, I thought we said that this was going to be an introduction for Texas into the SEC this year. I don't think this is the introduction you were talking about, because this has garnered this is the best thing that can happen for the SEC commissioner in the SEC. The worst thing that can happen for Alabama. But they are about to make a bunch of money and hit a bunch of recruiting by beating Alabama in Alabama. Ooh,
yeah. And also, I'm going to be frank. I don't think that Texas is a better team. I think that Nick Saban sticking with Milroe was not the answer. He should have abandoned that quarterback so early. And I'm going to repeat it until they do something about it. If they don't, then yeah. But he was not able to really play the position as a quarterback. He was basically just out there running. And I know that everybody immediately says, well, Alabama typically doesn't have very good quarterbacks, but they do have game managers that can make easy open.
4 quarterbacks are in the league starting.
But when I say good, I mean like good quarterback.
Y'all gotta let that go. They got the last 4 are in the league starting.
Who? Hold on. Hurts. Who else?
Tua. Mac Jones.
Good when healthy. Trash.
In the league. I say he's in the league starting.
Yeah.
There's another one too. There's a 4th one too. I can't think of who it is. Not a world beater by any stretch of the imagination. But all of those guys are perfect examples. They can throw. They can make the easy open throws. Milroe, move the halfback, son. You are a skill position, just not the quarterback. You need to find a new position. And Nick Saban, I just didn't expect him to double down on that, and he did. That's I agree with you. Milroe probably shouldn't be playing quarterback, but I ain't gonna put this all on him. This whole offensive line that's been talked up for the whole year, they're bigger than the NFL offensive lines. They want to beat people and punish them and make them quit. Y'all ran the ball for 107 yards on 35 carries, and Milroe had 44 of them.
That Milroe wasn't gonna throw the ball, so yeah, I'm putting all the men in the box. I dare him to throw.
Ain't no way.
I seen him miss too many.
Don't listen. If you are gonna make running the ball your thing, and then you up there get handled, listen. Texas had 5 sacks, and I watched the game. All of them wasn't him dancing around in the pocket. He ain't really have a lot of time either. They got whooped up front, and then in the 4th quarter they just got thrown.
No, Mac Jones is man. Who was the other dude they had? What's his name? What's the black dude who played quarterback? Not Jalen Hurts, the other one who was really
the one that wasn't that great. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and I will say I think the Tua is a good quarterback. His health is the major concern for me. And we'll get to Jalen Hurts. We're gonna have a discussion about quarterbacks in general. I hope it at a little bit later time. But yeah, Bama lost, Texas wins.
Luckily
Texas
for
was
Bama,
ranked 10 though, so I'm interested to see where Bama is now in rankings, because I think I mean, you could drop them out of the top 25 if they're gonna have Milroe play quarterback. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but definitely out of the top 10.
They'll never drop.
Nick, you gotta find a quarterback.
They'll never drop Bama out of the top 25 because it's Bama.
Hey, they need a quarterback.
But I will say on
Trey Lance is available from what I heard.
for college.
Yeah, it's the same about me. He ain't playing nowhere else.
So Georgia beat Ball State. We're gonna skip past that. Michigan, UNLV, cool. Ohio State, bro. Marvin Harrison Jr. is really, really good. Ohio State is not. Ohio State is another team that don't have any.
Your answer better be tank and get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. and then just sell all your other first-round picks and get somebody to buy Kyler.
Let me tell y'all something. He did this in the first quarter. 4 catches.
He did it so
122 yards, 30.5 yard average, and 2 touchdowns. I want y'all to remember that they won the game 35-7. That means they only scored 21 other points outside of him.
He's it. I'm not really fascinated by the majority of this Ohio State team, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is him. They, whatever pronoun you want to give him. Murder.
Now, what I will say about Marvin Harrison Jr. that I've seen, I ain't gonna say it's a knock on him. A lot of his stuff against big teams come against, and even his touchdowns here come with off schedule plays. So it's not like he's like killing you at the top of the route. It's more like he ran a post, quarterback C.J. Stroud extended the play. He turns back around, sees it, says throw it over here, makes a catch on the sideline. The catches that he makes are good. I'm just saying, but he's still wide receiver number one
with you.
by far.
I agree with that, but that's also situational awareness. If you're a quarterback, that's the guy that you want to be able to. What did Mahomes say? Hell, just throw it down there. Tyreek somewhere down there.
Tyreek somewhere. Tyreek is somewhere. So of course USC beat Stanford. I told you that wasn't gonna be no game. You thought it was gonna be a game. Penn State 63-7. Blase.
Well, they not. I didn't expect them to send Stanford's quarterback to the tent on the first or second drive.
Yeah,
you knock out their quarterback. That's gonna be a game changer. Your boy Bear Alexander is legit. I am very, very interested in seeing this September 30th showdown between USC and Colorado. I want to see. I've had a lot of people tell me a lot of things. They believe that Caleb Williams and Shedeur Sanders are in the same category. I am in the strong disbelief on that. I'm interested to see them play on the same field at the same time. And matter of fact, can we go to Colorado and
well, hold on. So this is a sleeper team that I like. Washington. Everybody, they got all these old dudes on the team. A lot of old dudes, a lot of 23, 24s. And then before we move on, Notre Dame and of course North Carolina State. Utah beat Baylor even with their backup. Oregon, I told y'all, I called this game. I said, look, Oregon gonna try to outscore Texas Tech. They better play some defense. And they had to score 20 points in the fourth quarter to win the game. Because they were about to lose. So
for me, that Oregon game, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They played awful for the majority of that game. You have to beat Texas Tech if you're who they believe you to be. But scoring 20 points when you absolutely need it, it says a lot. They closed that game out how they were supposed to with the pick six. And I honestly think that game, while it was very bad, does them more good than bad. I think that
a growth game. I agree. It's a growth game. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be their wake-up game. And once again, that's another game on Colorado's schedule that I think could be a very, very big problem for them in the future.
And then we'll get to Colorado real after this. I just wanted to point out the struggle win. We ain't got to deep dive into it or nothing. Austin Peay and Tennessee, until the last drive of the second half, it was 6-6. Go ahead.
Call on me. Go
ahead.
Who told y'all not to believe in Tennessee? I did. I told y'all it's trick bag. Do not believe in Knoxville. Don't believe in Rocky Top. Everybody's like, no, Norwood, this is their year. Well, hell, they played Austin Peay and looked like they was struggling for the majority of this game. And I tried to tell y'all know when I'm wrong, I'm gonna come on here and say I was wrong. And when I was right, I'm gonna tell y'all that I was right. And y'all do not believe in Tennessee. They are not who they think you think they are.
Dang, not Tennessee. And then finally, man, we're finally here. So Colorado in a game that we knew they were gonna win. I don't think anybody picked. I think Colorado was the favorite before the season started in this game. I think the line was almost even before the season started, and then of course once they beat TCU, they were the favorite. It was an interesting 180 that they've had within 1 week. Against TCU, they were supposed to get blown out. They were supposed to get beat, according to everybody in the summer, right? They're supposed to get beat. They had the worst roster in football. They had Dion flip the roster. They said all those things, and it seems to be working out. What I like about this is Dion is king petty. And what makes Dion is that he embraces everything. Whatever it is, you want to be hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. I'm gonna preach right there with you. You want me to be straight from Florida, North Florida, I'm right there with you. I had a Jerry curl in 88. What you talking about? You know what I mean? If you want to get petty, you want to talk in the media, you want to call me out, you want to do these things, don't act like, you want to back down when I call you on your petty. And that seems to have been passed up from father to son, shut in. What do I mean by that? Shedeur Sanders was out there warming up, and he's got the Beats. He's got the Beats NIL. He's got the Rolex NIL. He's got the Mercedes NIL. And he's got the Tom Brady NIL. So he's out there just full NIL'd out, warming up. And Nebraska players decide to come talk some noise to him. And this is Rick Ross. Hold on.
And broke on the ball and made a play.
So good. So good. I loved it when you get set up and all you do now is just.
That is not what we wanted to hear.
What Rick Ross is basically saying that this is the new celebration. When people start talking to you crazy, you just show them what's on your wrist. Very similar to the same thing that Shedeur Sanders did. That is a beautiful, it looks like a Tiffany Rolex. I'll probably never be able to afford one of those because I have a regular job and inflation is real. But outside of that, I'm conflicted about this. Like it because you had no business walking over there.
Look at the coach. The coach come give him dap and everything. Nah. Don't come talk. No. I like it. Don't come talk to me. Don't come talk to me, bro. You don't get to what? This is something that you will learn. For all my married folks, y'all know this saying from all my husbands out there. You can't control how I react. You're right. I can't control how you react. You came over there with the energy to Shedeur. Shedeur over there chilling with the music on, not doing nothing, minding his business. You came to talk to me.
And I'm a red button pusher. I try to do a little bit better. But yeah, if I leave you alone, I would suggest that you leave me alone. Because when I turn this thing up, I'm gonna turn it over.
Because you gonna do what? What the bodyguard say? He got an F around and find out shirt. Colorado was about business today. F around, find out. Shedeur with the watch. Listen, Deion said in the pregame, this is personal. Now, I will say, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna hate. It's gonna be hate. I'm gonna hate. Whatever. I'm doing it. Deion be recycling them pregame speeches now. He be recycling them. It be there, but it worked though. So Deion,
I want to put this game into context, man. Nebraska's not a very good team. Nebraska is not expected to have, a very good season. Colorado beat them, sure. And I want to be clear about this. Shedeur looked very regular in the first half. And if not for the terrible quarterback play of Nebraska, I think Nebraska could have and should have beat them, to be completely honest.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think Nebraska would have been closer. I don't think they would have beat them.
I think that it's going to be very interesting because there are two things about Shedeur. I think when given time, he can be dangerously accurate. His accuracy is on point. But what I do notice is he does not like a pass rush. And I think that as the teams that he plays get better and better, he is going to have more and more issues with the pass rush. By the time that he sees Barry Alexander at USC, it's going to be a very, very scary time because the kids from Nebraska, that D-line, I don't think that they have a very good defense, but they look very good in the pass rush.
Nebraska does. That is actually supposed to be that's supposed to be one of their good guys on defense is their D-line and their secondary. Their linebackers is where middle of the field is where they got attacked. Shedeur, you're right, does not like a pass rush. I don't know any quarterback that does. Look at they showing Garrett Wilson not going to block 47. And now they down 13-3. Shedeur has thrown for over 900 yards in 2 games. I told y'all, I remember us talking about it. I don't know if I told y'all. I said this is the best 2 games that they could start out with as Colorado. I was like, Deion was very, very, as much as you think he talks about, God told me to go, which I believe. I believe God told him. He talked to God and all of that. But I think you calculated. I don't think if Colorado were going to start out with USC Oregon, and then have to go play like a non-conference game against Alabama, or not even Alabama, we'll say Texas, I don't know if he takes that job, because you start out 0-3 at that point. To me, no matter what team you put on the field against those three, you start out 0-3. So he's very calculated in this game, and Shedeur is very accurate. Shedeur, his arm strength, he's starting to. No sound from me. Oh
No, I mean,
no, that's right.
yes.
That's sound. It should be sound.
But yes, please, Twitch people, if y'all can't hear us, please put message in the chat here. We'll try to get that updated and get that taken care of for you. I'm interested in seeing as the competition continues to ramp up. I'm hopeful that he will continue to meet and exceed the
900 yards in the Pac-12
yes.
with no defense is, I mean, it's the best he could have done, man. And I will say, dude, he got some receivers out there. Xavier Weaver out there, 298 yards receiving, 300 yards in 2 games. And he's just one of 4. They've got legit 4 receivers that are really, really, really good.
And I want to say Travis Hunter, I think he had 3 receptions, but he had 72, 73 yards. That's cooking. That is cooking with gas every time.
He only had 3 receptions, but look at this, though. Did y'all see this?
He
move?
murdered it.
Ooh. Here you go, right here. I'm going to keep it going. Keep going. Travis Hunter just did a simple comeback. A simple comeback. And then both of y'all, get out the way. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to juke you, too. You see the first 2 that he juked,
You
right?
cannot touch me. Ain't nothing over there. Why are you trying to tackle your man? You did.
But keep going. He
you know how
juked
bad
2 more.
that looks on tape? You
Watch
know how many
this. You will see
times
another
the
dude fly.
secondary coach is going to rewind and say, son, why did you tackle your teammate instead of the man with the ball?
1, 2, but then look at this. Look at this. Here's number 3 right there. Took him out. Like, he took everybody out, dog.
I don't know if he could be a wide receiver 1 in the NFL, but I do think he could play offense.
No, he wouldn't. He's a Champ Bailey. He's a Champ Bailey.
Exactly.
He's a now DB wise. We will say they ain't do nothing.
CB1.
They ain't do nothing, and I will say that Nebraska had apparently Eric Gilbert was gonna start until he got in trouble. So they kind of discombobulated on offense.
He made them embrace it. Hey, hug it out. But also, I will say that I got a chance to watch him be a little physical this game. Nebraska players tried to go at him. I saw him and the tight end get into a little tussle.
Dog, they body slammed him. They body slammed him
Yes.
in the first. Like they came,
And
he was standing there. They came from behind him, grabbed him by the chest, and flipped him. And I was like, nobody's gonna call that.
And cornerbacks notoriously not the guys who want to be the most physical. Deion Sanders himself saying, I don't really do too much tackling. Travis Hunter, I know that he has the D on his chest for dog, but I'm becoming more and more a believer every week.
Yeah, he to his credit, he didn't let him phase him. He didn't let it phase him.
And if you get physical with corners, they're like receivers in that manner. Keep your hands off me. Don't you touch me.
But you better not let him pick the ball off, because if he score, he gonna let you know, and you gonna be all over the internet, because he's replaced Caleb Williams. Like, he is the athlete in college football right now. He is it.
Oh no, he ain't replaced Caleb Williams. No. Caleb Williams is. I saw Caleb Williams throw a sidearm pass.
I'm not talking about best player. I'm talking about most recognizable and popular athlete in the NCAA right now. It is Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Not close. Right now. I like these graphics because they always seem to make the story better than what it is. They said, oh my God, Deion in 2 games has eclipsed the win total and doubled the amount of wins that Colorado had last year. Yeah, you had one. You had to win 2. You had to win 2 games. I mean, I get it. But we about to see for real now, because they play USC coming up. They play UCLA. They play Oregon. They play Colorado State.
I was called the hater all weekend. I want to be very clear about what I think about Colorado, and I'm going to say this well in advance So it's not like I'm bandwagoning or I'm changing my position later. I think that Colorado pre-Dion was a bad organization, bad team. I think that Dion has these guys and they're now a mediocre team. I do not think that they're a top 25 team. I don't think that they're a really good football team. But I do think that they have made a hell of a ways in improving. But I want to put a realistic expectation. This team is not. I don't think
they about to see some losing now. They about to see some losing. They about to see some losing now. They gonna go to
and
the
I've
USC.
seen so many people. I've been called a hater because I don't think that Colorado is good. I said that I think that Shedeur Sanders is probably a mediocre quarterback. I don't when I think of good quarterbacks, I think of Shedeur Sanders. I think of Michael Penix. Those are the guys who I think are good quarterbacks. I can't in my logical brain put Shedeur Sanders and Caleb Williams in the same category. Not even close.
I don't know if there's another quarterback in the same category as Caleb Williams.
They're gonna put Penix right there. He's old though, but I like him.
No.
And you know who else they're gonna throw in there? I do think that
care.
Shedeur and Drake May are closer than objects appear, but they're also gonna put that boy in there from Michigan, McCarthy, because he's so far he's been pretty accurate. But I don't think that he's in the Caleb Williams conversation either.
Y'all see my face? I'm in the solo camera. I want y'all to see that right now. Hey, Michigan fans, don't put him in the same nothing. Y'all, nothing. He don't need to be in. Listen, I don't even know. Is it JJ McCarthy? He is not in any of those. He is not in any of those categories. I think he's probably not. I think Shedeur is probably better than him. But I just want to make sure y'all see that. Sneaky said, does Colorado beat Florida?
Maybe no. I would actually like to see that.
Florida and Colorado?
Is Shedeur a better prospect than Anthony Richardson? Hell no. Anthony Richardson was being held back by his sorry ass coach Billy Napier. Anthony Richardson looked like he looked like a decent quarterback in the NFL for the Indianapolis Colts, and that is quite the achievement.
Yeah. So we talked about Florida. I mean, not Florida. I'm not talking about Florida. Oregon almost losing. UNC almost lost as well against Appalachian State. And at this point, is it really an upset?
Hell yeah.
Is it really an upset if Appalachian State were to beat North Carolina? Appalachian State beats a Division I school, seem like every year.
Yeah, they are the giant killers. That's their thing. That's notoriously been what they specialize in doing. They've done it so many times. You do kind of grow numb to it, but
still upset.
North Carolina, once again, I never believed in you guys. Never believed in you. And I'm not going to start now. Today is no different.
Hey, man, I told y'all I don't believe in Miami, and I didn't really believe in Texas A&M. I had to pick a team. Miami burned me the last 2 years picking them as a team to be back. And what do you know? Texas A&M goes and shits a brick. And so they lose to Miami 48-33, and it really wasn't ever really out of Miami's control. So with Texas A&M losing, I don't know if Miami is back, but
how long do you continue to pay Jimbo Smith all this money?
Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, yes, Jimbo Fisher to be regular. He has not ever been dominant, not once. And I think he gets paid $10 million a year. And as you can see on the screen, I put it in big bold letters. Fire him.
Fire Jimbo. I think he's on the hot seat after this year. I don't them having to get rid of that entire class that they paid for in 2021, they got rid of like 70% of that recruiting class through people transferring, through kicked out of the organization, through whatever, losing that set them back so far that I don't know if Jimbo recovers. I think he got one more year.
You got to beat Miami.
No, you don't.
I
Not
don't
if Miami turns out to be good, then
you don't trust
then
Miami. You don't really believe in them at all.
There's not too many teams I do believe in, but everybody. I wasn't confident in picking that pick. I just didn't pick Miami personally. I will say for a conference that was going out in the Pac-12 up until
Pac-12 need to take a moment and pause and reconsider. It's a shame when your conference plays the absolute best once it no longer exists.
Once it was going out, until USC beat Stanford, they were undefeated. They were 17-0.
And that don't really count because one team had to lose.
Yeah, they were 17-0.
You're still undefeated against non-Pac-10 teams, Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever it is.
Thanks to Auburn. Auburn beat Cal. Thank goodness. Auburn beat Cal. Right. Thank goodness Auburn beat Cal.
Speaking of.
And
I didn't
Aaron
trust
Rodgers
them to
made
do
a
that.
little bet.
I was like, boy, they could very well lose this.
Oh, I picked Auburn to I picked Auburn to win because I'm really not gonna pick against the SEC, but I ain't expect for them to win. But as you can see, Aaron Rodgers had to wear full regalia, Auburn stuff because he bet CJ Uzoma that Cal would beat Auburn. Mind you, they played in Berkeley.
Boy, he's had a rough couple of days, boy. You had to pay up on the bet. Leg then fell off. Boy, thoughts and prayers.
So that was Aaron Rodgers. One thing about this year, though, now that we've seen this is the first time since September 2017 when I want to say the Power 5 was kind of instituted because Jameis Winston won in 2016 or was it 13? 16? 13. One of them years. 16 was Bama. But since 2017, that each of the Power 5 conferences are represented in the AP Top 5. You got Georgia at 1, SEC, Michigan at 2, Big 10, Florida State at 4, 3, it may be 3. Florida State may be number 3. Florida State is number 3. Florida State, y'all.
Up here. Let me tell you that right now.
It's number 3. USC is number 4, and Texas is number 5. Or they'll be in the top. Yeah. That's the ranking. Wow.
I don't.
Florida State
Michigan.
is number 3.
I don't trust Florida State. I'm gonna tell you that now. Y'all heard it here first on the Splashcast. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe. We truly appreciate you rocking with us on this Monday night, doing it raw. And yeah, those two teams in the middle do not belong.
Florida State is number 3, y'all. Florida,
wherever he wants to go.
I thought I was gonna see I thought we were one coach away from Florida State being in a relative discussion at this point. Florida State is number 3. So you do have some parity, which is what they want in the early in the season. You do have some parity. Will this last? I don't know. But let's change our attention real quick before we get to the NFL. Florida has this is an NIL issue that a lot of us were saying, people that follow music, people that follow deals that deal with with minorities and majorities. Dexter Lawrence, former he was Dexter Lawrence. Gervon Dexter, Chicago Bears second rounder, has filed a lawsuit against Big League Advance. He accepted $400,000 in NIL money while at Florida in exchange for 15% of his pre-tax NFL earnings for 25 years, which means they get, based on the contract he signed, this is pre-tax. So they get 15% of the gross, then he gets taxed, then he gets whatever. That
leftover.
One is why you have to have representation. This is why you should have an agent in college. 2, Big League Advance is nasty. You're nasty. And I hope that by them being put out on Front Street that nobody else does any work or does anything with Big League Advance. This is crazy.
Well, this is okay. So I do believe it's tricky though. They're giving a college kid $436,000. It's $500,000. Probably before the season started. So that's a big risk to give a college kid $500,000 and hope to see the return on it. It is predatory because it is 15% for the next 25 years. Those are nasty terms. This is the equivalent of a Music 360 deal. Now, it's tricky because I do understand that all of these $500,000 deals don't hit. I'm sure they gave a lot of guys $500,000 and have no way to recoup. No way.
That's irrelevant to me. You gave $500,000 because you gave $500,000, and this is loan shark mafia behavior. This is mafia behavior. I give you $400,000 now, and I take 15% of whatever you make in the NFL off your rookie contract. Damn, just anything.
But look at
that's loan shark.
But,
even if you gave $500,000 to 5 people and 2 people go to the league, the fact that the terms are 15% is egregious. That's awful. On both you, Gervon Dexter, I don't know if you thought that you could. I don't know if the attorneys can get you out of this one, bro. This is bad. This is ugly.
Yeah, but it's a bad deal. It is. But I also think about, hey, it's a lot of people they probably gave $500,000 to, and just had to give and take that loss. That insurance.
I don't give a shit about it. I don't give a shit about that. You tried to. That's the scammer only hit on 1 lick when they tried to hit 10 licks. That's fine. You still took advantage of one person. That's still bad to me. That's scamming. I don't give a damn if you gave $500,000. You tried to hit a lick 10 times. I don't give a damn that you lost money for scamming.
But
who
to
cares?
the 4 other people you gave $500,000.
Don't give a. You shouldn't be scamming. You. This is not you scamming. If you wasn't scamming and you were there for the person and you really wanted to go that, then fine, cool. You scamming. You telling me that you saying I hate that the scammer gave out $500,000 trying to scam somebody 4 times, but then scam somebody for $30 million. Fuck out of here. Man,
this
hell
is not
no.
a scam. It's predatory lending.
This isn't a scam. You're telling.
You gave a person $500,000 advance. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a scam.
What do you say to the person who
I want to make sure that you. I want to make sure that you
never
understand.
plays the NFL?
I want to make sure that you understand that. I want to make sure I understand that you're saying that this is not a scam.
No, it's not a scam. It's predatory lending, but you got to see the return on your investment. Like
you sound like your title. You sound like you work for them. You do.
As
you
a
sound
person,
like an insurance
I've worked
dude.
in lending before, so I understand both sides of it. I gotta take $500,000 out of my pocket and give it to a kid that's 21 years old.
No, you don't have to.
You don't
have to. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Well, that's what this is. This is what that were the terms of the deal. Hey, I'm gonna give you $500,000 at the beginning of the season. I gotta hope that your body holds up, and I gotta hope that you don't act like an idiot.
$500,000 at the beginning of what season?
I'm sure they paid him before the.
So that's an assumption.
Started.
No. I can't believe that you're actually kind of you're defending. You're defending this predatory behavior.
Same thing with student loans. It's the same thing as student loans.
You have a problem with student loans, don't you?
If the student loan people get, a scam is a scam. What I'm saying is this is clearly the scam that everybody is okay with. I am giving you a ton of money to a person who is unemployed and is high risk.
Cool. Like Dion said, man, these NIL deals means you're supposed to be representing something. Like what are you? Look at Zach Wilson. He's run backwards 40 yards. Throw the ball away.
That's the reason they hate him. They still, oh my God, play that circus music.
All right, man.
Let's fire you again, son. You're a fired ass.
This is bad. Let's get to the NFL. Let's get to the NFL. Rookies. This may go down as one of the best rookie classes in a long time. Jordan Addison, 4 catches, 6, and y'all did lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now.
And it's bad that you had Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson play that good and y'all still lose. That's tragic.
Will Anderson,
And
the defensive end.
Cousins is himself.
Will Anderson, the defensive end that really nobody has really talked about at all since he's been drafted. He was drafted number 3, and nobody talked about him.
I did, because I saw him in preseason. I was like, when he did the block tackle, I was like, oh, no, he's a monster.
6 tackles, 6 pressures, and 1 sack against Lamar Jackson. This is against a mobile quarterback. Norwood payday loan. Yeah, Josh. I can't believe it. But whatever, we need to repeat. Jalen Carter had a pressure and a tackle for loss in his first 2 snaps against the New England Patriots. He looks. Fletcher Cox is the rotational piece. They play Jalen Carter a lot.
And I'm going to tell you, we got to see how this plays out. I think that Bijan played well enough, but and once again, I apologize for the way that I acted on draft day. I will always, I don't think I'll be sorry for what I did, but I will apologize. I feel like Jalen Carter is my Luka Doncic. And I just see it, and I think I just got to follow it for the next 10 years, and I hope that we made the right pick. That's the only thing that I can say.
Well, I will say I was at the game. Hold on. Christian Gonzalez had 1 pass breakup, 1 sack, and 7 tackles against the Eagles. Roshan Johnson had 11 touches for 55 yards and a touchdown because they shut DJ Moore down. Told you about them Packers. That's who we bet on. I told you about them. I don't even know who this person is. Puka Nacua. 10 catches, 119 yards, and apparently he's a monster. He was carving up the Seahawks. Luka Van Ness, 1 sack, 2 tackles, and Bijan, 16 touches, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Out of this group, I'll say all of them are good. Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, that I saw.
Yeah, Josh.
Zay Flowers and Bijan Robinson.
I'm not going to let him get past Zay Flowers because
I didn't skip Zay. I said 11 touches, 87 yards, didn't it?
No, you missed it.
My bad.
The thing that I want to say
about
about Zay Flowers is I told y'all going into this season that I did not trust the Ravens offense. Let me be very clear. I still don't. The offense looks exactly like it has in every other season. I also said I don't know about OBJ as my wide receiver 1. He had a very regular pedestrian game. Zay Flowers did impress me 100%. I said that he's going to have to be the breakout guy because I just don't know what the deal is with OBJ. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready. And Zay Flowers impressed. Congratulations. I had questions about him. If I question you when you do well, I'm going to say, hey, you did well. He impressed me.
Sometimes you will. But yeah, Zay Flowers look good. Lamar, man, ain't no more excuses. But I will say the Texans defense, D'Amico Ryan's got them playing tough. That defense.
As much as I hate that organization, and I know they still got whooped, they didn't look whooped. They look like a football team that's getting it together. It's unfortunate you had to start against Lamar. That's not really
Lamar in check. He's my starting quarterback. They had him in check.
But D'Amico may be onto something in that. I mean, in Houston, especially when they get Mechie back.
Yeah.
And Bijan,
I didn't know he wasn't
we're
playing.
gonna talk about the Falcons now, or yeah.
So
I do understand a little bit more of why we picked Bijan after watching this game. Desmond Ridder did not play very good. He did not play very good to me. He looked regular as hell, to be honest. And I kind of understand why you pick another running back to try to take up more carries because you're probably going to have to win games mostly through the running game. I do think that Arthur Smith was a little too Bijan-centric for me. From what I saw in game 1, I would swap RB1 and RB2. I think that Tyler Algier looked like the better running back, starting running back, and I would change of pace with Bijan. I would let Tyler Algier take the lion's share of carries and just beat up defenses, and then I would try to have Bijan run by defenses once they're tired. That would be my game plan.
So the thing about, I had the privilege of going to the game. First off, Bijan looks like he's a step faster than everybody on the field. And it's not his overall speed. I think it's almost like a different version. Hear me what I'm saying? Yes, it's the number. It's a different version like Michael Vick. When Michael Vick came into the league, his top end speed and acceleration was something that we hadn't seen before. Not at the quarterback position.
There's another gear that the majority of guys in the NFL just
he didn't have to build up to it. Same thing with Bijan that I saw. When he, especially on that touchdown catch, when he catches the ball and he sticks his foot in the ground, he gets 5 yards immediately just because he's faster than everybody else. He eliminates angles. I agree that Algier should be RB1. I like how Arthur Smith is trying to do this offense. So Arthur Smith is a zone blocking, run the ball disciple when it comes to offense. How that has evolved is when you are a zone blocking, run the ball, pro style offense person, you try to be able to beat teams without changing your formation. He ran 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and a running back the majority of the game. Keith Smith, our fullback, really didn't get any burn at all. And
goal line only almost.
Yeah. And what he does is, I saw what he was doing in the second quarter, because I was with you the first quarter. I was like, man, Desmond Ridder's 3 of 3 for minus 11 yards. That was his stat line. Yes, minus, negative, less than 0 in the first quarter. And they kept giving the ball to Bijan. I was like, y'all got to get the ball to Tyler Algier. But I will say.
And when you gave it to him, Tyler took off.
I will say that they figured out that we can't run side to side against Carolina. Brian Burns y'all better pay that man, Carolina. Y'all better pay Brian Burns today. Y'all should have had the contract on the plane.
I'll be more than happy to have.
We got $15 million we ready to spend tonight. Because he had sack, forced fumble on the first drive. Not the first quarter.
Mind you, wait. Mind you, no camp. He been at home. He has not been participating in anything. And he was a game time decision. And in hindsight, he might be the only reason that they even kept it close. Because he came in the first half and destroyed everything on site.
And every lineman. He didn't just line up against, the right tackle. He went right tackle, left tackle, over the center, over the guard. I was like, dog, he's everywhere. So
if there was an ass to be whooped, he was whooping it. And I will, because I went back today and I watched the press conference after the game. And number one, Arthur Smith gave a lot of credit to Burns. He said that dude's a hell of a football player. Those defensive linemen and a couple of their linebackers are really good football players and smart football players. But one thing that he did say, he said, we came out in the second half. I'm not going to let a person beat me the whole game. And I respect that. That's when I was talking about I really like Arthur Smith. He made the correct adjustments, and that's what the NFL is about. All of these guys are pretty good, but it's about once you have information, can I process the information? Can I make an adjustment? And where can I find my advantage? And Arthur Smith surely did that in the second half, and I appreciate that.
And that advantage was run the ball straight up the middle of the field. If Derek Brown was in the 3 gap, we ran to the 1 gap. If he was in the 0, we ran to the 2. We just ran between 0 to 3 gap the whole game, the whole second half. And it actually opened up Desmond Ridder is scary. That's my last point. He is scary. He is a reason he don't throw interceptions, because he is not going to another interception by Josh Allen. He is not going to take that risk. He missed Jonnu Smith open a couple times, and he finally in the fourth quarter he just threw it up to Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts made a catch.
I ain't never seen Kyle Pitts as a wide receiver. He just kind of moved him out the way with his head. He said, get out of here, bro. And he just scooted him on out of the way and said, oh, I got this. And it was a stellar catch. Desmond, you're going to have to find your cojones because you're not going. There's no way that wide receivers, and I only really call Pitts a wide receiver. That's what he is. They're not going to keep blocking and running down the field and not getting targets. You're going to get cussed out. I work too hard in the offseason. I'm trying to get paid. You can't just keep checking down. Now, checking down did have you like 15 to 18, 100 and something yards, and we played safe. But
Drake London can't get just one target. That can't happen.
No. You got to get receivers. The receivers are like shooters in basketball. You got to get guys in a rhythm because the first catch is just a catch that I'm used to, like, all right, got a ball. It's when you get used to, oh, I got the ball, boom, now I can put my move on somebody. So you got to get them in a rhythm. And it's the Falcons. We haven't been the most successful with turnovers. Shout out to Jesse Bates, 2 interceptions and a fumble cause and 10 tackles. He did the heavy lifting. I can't assume that he's going to do that every game. If he does, then he'll be a Pro Bowler, All Pro, whatever it is. But we got to be able to put some pressure on the secondary. And Arthur Smith, I think he understood that. He did a pretty good job of trying to protect Desmond Ridder, but we all saw it. We ain't stupid. And you can also see the stadium. You were there, but I could see it on the tape. The stadium was rocking early.
Man,
we had a lot of hope.
They had a Jeezy concert before the second quarter, and it just went crazy from there.
And then after a while, you could see the air go out of the entire stadium. We can't afford that, man. Arthur Smith, you did the right thing to protect your quarterback, but we ain't dumb either.
Jesse Bates, I will say, Jesse Bates seems to be worth the money so far.
Terry Fontenot, congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, you hit on that one. You hit on that one. Our D-line played really well in the second half. First half, I'm gonna test all that to jitters because we was getting dominated. Second half, I'm gonna say that we settled in because we looked like a different team.
I will say that Arthur Smith talked about that in the press conference too. He basically said that because we did get beat on that running back screen and they almost got the first down. And after that, I think he kind of backed the pass rush off a little bit just so that we could play a little bit more conservative so we didn't get beat on big plays. So I think that was some of the scheme. I think that he was playing very bend, don't break with them, which is smart. You got a rookie quarterback who probably is going to make a mistake. You had Jesse Bates there to capitalize on the mistakes. So you didn't have to rush him. And we were running the ball consistently enough that I think that he knew that we would be able to get the job done. We won 24-10. I feel like we won this game 17-14. Is that fair?
No. I feel like we dominated them in the second half. I think Bryce Young's interception in the second half was due to our defensive line. I will say on offense, and I'll leave it with this because we got to move on to the rest of the league. I am interested. I am truly thinking that they're going to put Cordero Patterson more at a wide receiver H-back role versus a running back role. I think Bijan and Algier got that sewed up. However they want to do it, whoever's RB1, RB2, because they're going to play. And Mac Hollins is he made a couple great catches. Not great, really good catches indicative of a number 2 receiver. And he was blocking his ass off too. I'm interested to see how Cordero plays. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Fantastic value pickup, blocking. Then we needed that catch. He made that catch. The ball, it wasn't a great toss. He made it happen. If he continues to play that good for the season, I'm very happy with that pickup. Now, I do think that we could still look at Jarvis Landry.
Somebody.
I'm not going to sit here and have enough hubris to say that I don't think that Jarvis could get some burn. But also, I mean, you're going to take one of the 3 targets away from Kyle Pitts. That's my thing about Cordero is what are you going to do? You're going to take that passing game is scary to me. I don't have no other way to say it, Reggie, but I did not leave the game feeling confident about our passing game at all.
Well, Cordero would take Jonnu Smith's spot. Jonnu Smith was playing as the second tight end that whole game. Cordero would come in and Jonnu Smith wouldn't play as many. That's who comes in. But
I don't hate
we'll see.
That. I don't hate that.
We'll see.
You're
Moving
right.
on, man.
That's a spot where I don't mind him playing.
Hey, I thought the Bengals were going to beat Cleveland until somebody pointed out, a Cleveland fan pointed out, Joe Burrow plays horrible in Cleveland. And he does.
He does.
Not only did they get,
and he had no camp because remember he had the calf issue. I forgot about that. That's not.
And not only
me
did they
being
get
informed
dominated,
enough.
they got dominated wild crazy. 24-3. Myles Garrett was out there hitting hezzy crossovers against the Bengals. Mind you, he loves the look at that. Hey. And then I'm gonna hit you with the crossover, and then I'm gonna get there and get the sack. The fact that he did the crossover and then got the sack is wild. Look at that. That's wild crazy. It's wild disrespect.
It's not. It's the same thing we talked about when the receiver started doing this. I forgot the receiver who did this.
Stephon Diggs.
But yeah, Stephon Diggs, where you just basically using like a crossover to disorient a player. It's the same thing. You faking him, and as a lineman, you're trying to get to him. You're trying to cut down the distance, get hands on him, and block him. And as soon as he give you that head fake, he's so fast. You're beat. It's beautiful. This is elite execution.
Ugly. Now I will say, Joe became the highest paid quarterback in history, highest paid player in history. $275 million guaranteed, $275 million total, $219 guaranteed. To come out there and get beat 24-3. Deshaun.
Game one.
Deshaun looked okay. I mean, he ain't look worth 235, but I mean, he looked okay. And they won 24-3, which is really all they paying for him to do is not lose the game. I think every quarterback Cleveland has lost them games, and they're paying him to not lose them games.
Yeah, the issue is it's like the $56 million cap hit you have next year.
Yeah,
that is where it's gonna get tricky. I can't pay you this much to not lose games. That puts you in the Dak. That puts you in the Dak Prescott category.
Speaking of Dakota, great segue. Hey, Detroit. I mean, not Detroit. I'm sorry, I got y'all confused. But 40-0, New York Giants. Lord, I don't even have words.
I watched a new Undisputed today. Mike Irvin had me in tears. He said, we delivered a 40 burger and then gave him a donut for dessert. And I said, you know what? That's a bar. That's a hell of a bar, Mike Irvin. New York Giants, I never believed in you. I told you that Danny Dimes was a scam. I told y'all shouldn't have paid him. It looks like you should not have paid him considering he got you no points. And his job is to get points. None.
First off, I'm not time out. Stop right there. I'm not gonna let you do that to Danny Dimes. He was sacked 7 times. 7.
And he Michael Vick. He's supposed to be fast. That's what they told me last year.
And Dakota Rain was 13-24 for 143. He ain't do nothing neither.
Big mid.
But
Big mid.
This is when I knew the game was over. Right here. When they blocked this, I was like, ooh. The Cowboys blocked the field goal, ran it back for a touchdown. I said, that'll never happen. That's like recovering an onside kick for a touchdown. That'll never happen. And they look like that. I was like, oh, Lord. And then Danny Dimes right here. That's not his fault. That's just when Saquon got hit and the ball popped up in the air for a pick 6. That's not Danny Dimes' fault. I mean, like, what you gonna do?
You can call Pat Mahomes and talk to him about that.
And then look at there. That's just piss poor defense, dog. Look at that. 26-0 at halftime. It was 26-0 at halftime. And then in the third quarter, they get the ball come out and make it 33-0. And we're not done. They scored
You know what
again.
this sets up for them? This gonna set up for somebody to believe in Dan Quinn. He's gonna get it. He is going to be a head coach. If the Cowboys defense plays as good, there's no way he's not a head coach next year. And we all know how that ends.
Now, I will say I didn't realize the Cowboys were as deep on defense as they are. They didn't call Dexter Lawrence.
That pickup of Gilmore has made it, and I think Diggs is high risk, high reward. I think that gives him the ability to be more high risk, high reward because you have a bookend corner on the other side who's locked down. So it's not like before.
But he was the one that made the hit on Saquon though. Like he played physical that game, which caught me off guard. That caught me off guard by a lot. Dang, I don't have the joint where Sam Howell got DDT'd into the ground or whatever. Anyway,
next spin around. I mean,
but I will say in a battle of what I think is who gets Caleb Williams.
Hell no, Reggie.
Huh?
A battle. The Washington Commanders have put out the best team that they can put out. And the Cardinals are actively tanking with a JV team.
You didn't hear what I said. I said this is a battle of teams fighting for Caleb Williams.
No, the Commanders don't believe that. Hell no, the Commanders, they better not believe that. But they look like it. And that's the reason Caleb Williams tell y'all he might go back to USC for another year. I'm not going to play for them. Change your logo, change your team. That's the only way.
If I'm Caleb Williams, first off, this game was awful. But first off, the Commanders did win. I'm happy Eric Bieniemy got the win.
Barely.
If I'm Caleb Williams, one, I'm not going back to school. But two, if I go to Washington, if I had to choose between these two, and I believe these two will be amongst the worst in the league, I'm going to Washington. You got Bieniemy, you got a better defense. You got a running game. You got more help. Going to the Cardinals is awful. It's awful. It's absolutely awful.
No, I would, if I'm telling you right now, my options would go to the Cardinals, and I saw that coach give that pep talk, and everybody looked like, bro, this ain't do it for me. There's nothing in the Cardinals organization would tell me not to go back to USC. Not a chance. And if I went back again and they were still bad, I would still not play for them. I would go full Eli. Cardinals organization is in turmoil, in hell, and I would have nothing to do with it. The Commanders, I also just don't trust. Sam Howell is not a good quarterback. He's not even a trick bag because I don't believe in him, and I don't think that anybody should. And the fact that they struggled this mightily against a team that is actively trying to tank, you know how bad you got to be to struggle with a team that's trying to let you win?
I don't think anybody's arguing with you that the Washington Commanders aren't good. I'm just saying that this is a battle for Caleb Williams. And if I was Caleb Williams and I had to choose between these two, which are going to be two of the worst teams in the league, I am not going to Arizona. I am not going to Arizona.
I'll be right back in LA.
We talked about Baltimore and Houston.
This was a better game than the score put.
It went off the rails in the fourth quarter. It was a good game. Houston, if they can just get some offense, Lord, they gonna be good. Hey,
if they could get, Mechie's still out when he gets his chance. I think that Houston could very well, as much as I hate their organization, I think that they could be something, man. I like that team.
Trick Baggington. Anthony Richardson didn't look that bad. He did have a pick at the end of the game that by a Georgia player, reminiscent, that ended up sealing the game for Jacksonville. You see the Falcons hat on my head, right? You know why I'm kind of upset at this? Because Calvin Ridley had 8 catches for 107 yards and a touchdown, and looked like legit wide receiver one on that team, and it ain't even close. Calvin Ridley is nasty.
Well, I mean, unfortunately with Desmond, we just had another guy not getting targets, so I guess congratulations. But I'll go back. I really enjoy watching this Colts-Jaguars game too. Anthony Richardson looks like the real deal. Like I told y'all, I legitimately think that he escaped Billy Napier Yes.
I don't know about real deal.
I watched that. I had to watch the game because I knew that his season is going to follow me. He was pretty accurate for the majority of the game. He tried to win. Like, they did some bad coaching towards the end of the game, going for it on fourth down instead of kicking the ball, and then like either trying to get a turnover on downs or onside kick. That was more coaching than anything. But he did this with no Jonathan Taylor. Like, Anthony Richardson, he gave the Colts everything that you could have asked for. I think of the guys who I saw play, C.J. Stroud, Bryce, and him. So far, so good. But I mean, I think all of them had, their opportunities for improvement, but he didn't look like he didn't belong.
Yeah, I would say he didn't look like he was overwhelmed. He didn't look like he was overwhelmed at all. I don't know if that's.
He looked like he was trying to win them a game. Like a lot of quarterbacks, like even Dez didn't look like he looked like he was playing within the game. Richardson was like, "Hey, I'm gonna do my damnedest to try to win us a game."
I don't know if this is a big up to Richardson or more of a doubt to Jacksonville, because Jacksonville is supposed to win their division. Which they probably will. And they're supposed to surprise somebody in the playoffs as the number 4 seed. I got him as the number 4 seed.
No.
I don't know, man. But there's one team.
You should be struggling against a team in turmoil.
Brock Purdy looks like QB1 on this team. That offense looks totally different than when Trey Lance was in there, Sam Darnold was in there. That offense looked really pretty decent. Now, I will say the Steelers, I don't know what happened to y'all defense, Steelers. I don't know what happened over there. But
they got punched in the face. The 49ers punched everybody in the face who would willingly offer their face to be punched. Brock Purdy has made it where you can't even question John Lynch. It looks like 100% the right thing to do to just cut bait with Trey Lance.
And Shanahan.
I have been on record saying that I don't believe that Brock Purdy is the future of the 49ers. Well, look, yesterday he made me look like a fool. And
so
this collection of Infinity Stones he has definitely makes his job a lot easier.
Brock Purdy just seems like he understood, for lack of better terms, understood the assignment. Just don't lose the game. You can make the throws and you can hit the wide open person and hand the ball off when you're supposed to. Don't lose the game, because John Lynch is going to surround you with a winning team. And I didn't think about this until I looked at this graphic that we're about to talk about. John Lynch has drafted so well over the last 5 years that he messed up with Trey Lance, and it's just like, you messed up.
Well, he also got some good trades in there too. He got Trent and you got McCaffrey. Though that's two magical moves.
But let's look at this though. Level. You got the highest paid tight end in the NFL, who's probably the number 2 or 3 tight end in the league right now, George Kittle. Highest paid fullback, and fullback for Juszczyk is just a name on a piece of paper. That's just a position. He plays tight end, running back, fullback, wide receiver, long snapper, special teams, gunner. He does everything. You have the highest paid running back, Christian McCaffrey. He's on my fantasy team. He had 160 yards and a touchdown. You have Eric Armstead, Hargrave, and the defensive line at 5th and 6th highest paid. They look like they're unstoppable. Bosa.
Oh, do not forget about Fred Warner.
I was going down the column.
Oh,
I was going. Like
my bad. I got excited about Warner, man. I like that
so,
a lot.
They just signed Bosa, who's $122 million, the highest paid defensive player in guaranteed money. In 2023, he signs 3 years after his brother Joey became the highest paid defensive player at $102 million in 2020. Norwood said that they're set for life. We forgot that their dad played too. Like they've been set.
All I see is GOP donations.
Mm-hmm. You know what's out there. They wore didn't Joey and the family wear the MAGA hat? Yeah, they was out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So then you got Trent Williams, who deservedly so is the
Monster.
highest paid O lineman in NFL. He does 315-pound weighted dips. And then you have Fred Warner, who was the highest paid linebacker. Now he's the third highest paid, and he's like the linebacker version. He's like a mixture of Patrick Willis and Dante Whitner. Like, he hits really, really hard, but he is a sideline to sideline linebacker. He's a beast.
Heat-seeking missile. Trent, shout out to the Washington Commanders for fumbling that, you idiots. And Fred Warner, I think he was the one who made the play on Najee Harris to change the game. When he hit Najee Harris, it looked like the Pittsburgh Steelers did not want to be hit anymore after this. After that, he was like, you know what? I'm ready to go home. Now, with that said,
and Tomlin said that too.
one thing
Tomlin was like, yo, they punched us in the face. They seems like when they hit our players in the first or second quarter, it was over from there. And it was. That's happens when you have a young team.
if you're two teams, if you're the Atlanta Falcons or you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you need to be monitoring George Pickett. I have said from day one, I don't think that Kenny Pickett is equipped to get him the ball. He looks like he isn't. I think that George Pickett is going to be very unhappy about not getting the ball, and I think that he's going to want to play somewhere else. At that point, you need to make yourself available.
Yeah, he's
Falcons and Chiefs. Pickett ain't going. He not finna sit there with. Pickett's not gonna sit there with Pickett for very much longer.
He's not.
Look at that. Look at that.
I can't believe. I'm sure you're happy about this as you are a self-proclaimed Baker Mayfield fan. I can't believe that they went up there and beat Minnesota, especially with Minnesota having Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. Yo, go ahead.
So, I told y'all last year, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Baker Mayfield's toast. He'll never play in the NFL again." I said, "Nah, y'all wrong. He's gonna start," and he did. And then not only did he start, but he won his first game with Tampa Bay versus a team that a lot of people expect to be decent, not good, but decent.
Boy, I don't know how they won. Looking at these stats, bro. He was 21 to 34 for 173 yards. That is 7 yards a pass.
I will say the quarterbacks did not look very good. For this to be
all of them were awful.
The quarterbacks looked terrible yesterday. I was looking across the board. Like, Matt Stafford had a hell of a game, surprisingly. But a lot of the quarterbacks was right around that 150, 160-yard game. And I was like, boy, did y'all all forget how to play football? What happened over the summer where nobody can throw the ball anymore? Are the defenses that good now? Like, what has happened?
Well, Minnesota couldn't run the ball. They ran the ball for 41 yards total. That's what happens when you don't pay Dalvin Cook. So they lost. That's when you lose the game. Because they threw for 344 and had 2 touchdowns, but they couldn't run the ball. And in the second half, once you can't run the ball, ain't really nothing you can do. Now I can just play prevent. I only got to win a quarter. And that's what happened. Yep. Mike Evans had 6 catches for 66 yards. It was Mike Evans. This was just an ugly game. It was just an ugly game. But you're right. Baker Mayfield did enough to not lose.
And and do I think that he's a world beater quarterback? No. But do I think that when it comes down to those type of games, I think he's tough enough that he's going to do his damnedest to try to win a game. And I think that's valuable.
Because the defense ain't play bad. I mean, they did allow score every quarter.
They did their job. If you give me 17 points against specifically Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, I'm happy. I can't ask for no more than that. Yeah.
And that's one thing we talked about with Tampa Bay is they still got a defense down there now. They still got a defense.
Yeah, for sure.
This game. Shout out to, listen, I can't wait till we figure out this logo for Trick Bag because the Taints aren't good. They're not good. Anytime they talk about Taysom Hill, and they keep talking about Taysom Hill as he's the best football player on the team, y'all gonna lose. Y'all just happen to run into a team with no QB in Tennessee. 16-15 is egregious. That's such an ugly game.
Now, I will say I think Carr had like 300 yards passing. But 300 yards passing, 16 points means you're not executing when you need to. And that's something I forgot about. I wanted to remind everybody about that with the Falcons. We executed in the red zone. We were in the red zone 3 times. We scored 3 touchdowns. The one field goal we kicked was at the end. It's just, hey, we're not close enough to go for a score. Kick the field goal. Executing in the red zone is of the utmost importance.
Man, screw the Saints. Ain't no way y'all think that this is a real win. I don't care if he threw for 300 yards. He threw for 300 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They won 16-15.
They beat Hopkins and Derrick Henry, dog. That's a win. So win is a win.
Do you know what Ryan Tannehill's stats were? I'll read them to you. Don't even look them up. 16 of 34, 198 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions.
Oh, Lord.
3 interceptions.
Well, I mean, Josh Allen just threw his 3rd interception. We watch him struggle with the Jets right now. So
the Jets are better than the Saints. There's no way that the Saints should have won this game. Derrick Henry had 15 carries for 63 yards. I don't know if he got hurt or whatever. They just stopped giving him the ball and started letting Tannehill throw the ball. And it was a close game, and he threw 3 interceptions. DeAndre Hopkins, 7 for 65. He is clearly the best wide receiver on that team. Now, you have been championing one dude for the Saints for 2 years now, and it's Chris Olave. Chris Olave, 8 catches, 112 yards on 10 targets. Had more targets than everybody else.
That's cooking right there now.
Michael Thomas had a 30-yard catch, had a 25-yard catch, and then on his first. See, that's the thing about Michael Thomas. I be telling y'all he trick bag. Don't nobody ever believe me. Y'all always say Michael Thomas is this. He had 5 catches for 61 yards. His first catch was for 25 yards, which means he had 4 catches for 35 yards the rest of the game. Not good. I'm telling y'all he ain't good, bro. I told y'all he overrated. Overrated. I don't care. It is what it is. But
wouldn't he be our leading receiver?
Don't give up, man. Not because of his skill. No, that's because we don't have a quarterback. We got a quarterback.
I know. Boy, thoughts and prayers to that, boy.
But what else do we want to talk about before we wrap up with football? Oh, AFC South. We talked about the Jaguars, but hey, man, if Tua, all you got to do is just throw the ball up. If he can stay healthy, they are a problem in the AFC. I'm sorry, I said South, AFC East. They are a problem in the AFC East.
That I agree with is that if he can stay, like, because I think that we missed a progression. At first, it was like, all right, is Tua good enough? And I don't think that we ever addressed that. Yeah, he is good enough. Now the big question is, can he stay healthy? If he can stay healthy, these guys can be a problem. Multiracial McDaniel, while he does not shower very often, he does know how to call boy. They were cooking. Exciting and high flying. I ain't seen Miami move like this since LeBron left.
Now, I will say this about Tua. From what these highlights I've seen, now Tyreek Hill is just unfair. I mean, that's unfair. Tyreek Hill is unfair. He's unfair. Tua is still doing the same thing, though. He's still doing the look right. And if I, like there, he threw the Tyreek Hill. If he looks right, and if it's not open, I'm going to snap back and throw it left almost without looking. He's still doing that. Yeah. And just like how Clemson exposed them in the national championship, Georgia exposed them too. You're going to end up doing that. You're going to end up getting exposed. The defenses are going to end up exposing you. But against first game of the year against the Chargers, who I told y'all might be tricked back, even though they did score 30 points. Man, the Dolphins look good, man, on offense. Their defense.
No. Wait. Now, there's another point here, a point of contention. If you look at all of those highlights, can you hear me? You can hear me, Reggie? Hey, Chargers, do not put Tyreek Hill in man coverage. That is stupid. That is dumb, and that will get you 11 catches for 215 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. If you don't bracket that man, he is going to embarrass you. Tyreek Hill is a 2-person cover. I saw way too much corner in one-on-one man. And that man, when he does that, you might as well ball your cornerback up and put him in the fucking air fryer. Because it ain't nothing he can do but call God. It's not. That's bad defense. That's bad coaching. Cornerback, I don't care who you are.
Yeah, you can't.
It ain't nobody.
You got to make an
When was the last time
adjustment.
you see somebody catch a cheetah?
Never. And then finally, man, the first game of the year, the Chiefs lost to the Dolphins 21-20. Although they were, I will say, nothing against. I said Dolphins. The Chiefs lost to the Lions. I will say the Chiefs didn't have Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. So 2 of your best 3 players were out. But the Dolphins played well, man. They played strong. Their offensive line looks good. Jared Goff looks like the quarterback that they need. David Montgomery is running like he's got something to prove. Jahmyr Gibbs is as fast as advertised.
Boy, aggressive and good balance. Because that was the first I was like, let me see what Gibbs looked like, because I know that they want to be Bijan, and they set up for Jahmyr Gibbs. Let me see if they made the right decision. And Gibbs looked good as advertised.
He did, man.
Come on, Zachary Taylor Thomas, win you one, man.
What I took from this is what everybody took from this. They signed Chris Jones to a 1-year extension the day after they lost the game. Now, what I will say is it's not often, unless the contract is in the favor of the player, that they don't release the parameters of the contract. Maybe they'll do that in the next 1 or 2 days. But Chris Jones,
it's public information, so the contract will come out. But they
this
probably
holdout is over.
They probably signed the contract in principle, and then they're working out like the incentives.
Garrett Wilson. Oh my God. Yeah. So. So he's gonna get multiple incentives and earn considerably more money this season, per sources. So it's basically a 2-year deal, this year and next year, that he signed. They said they created the Darth Vader helmet for Tua. Yeah, they did.
I hope so. Whatever. Hey, put him in the ones that they wear in camp. Put him in that helmet. The one with the big
with the bag with the mushroom on top.
Yeah. I don't care.
And then
this is out of control.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson is ridiculous.
That focus is unbelievable.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And
hey,
boy,
speaking of the KDT, who did have fun with the Giants fans after winning the Super Bowl, they called him a bust. He won the Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes, made 2 really, really good plays on the punt return and then scoring. And then this season, start off, he is probably the reason that they lost the game against the Lions, as he had a drop pass pick 6. He ended up, the Giants fans were so ruthless that he deleted his Instagram and Twitter for a day. Here's the pick 6 right here. I mean, it was just ridiculous. Right there to a rookie out of Georgia Tech, actually, who ran it back for a touchdown. I'm sorry, not Georgia Tech. That's Brian Branch out of Alabama. They have another rookie from Georgia Tech. Not only did he also drop the 3rd down pass that would have got him a first down to 1st and goal. And then he dropped a first down pass in the 4th quarter with 2 minutes left that would have got them within field goal range. He is the reason they lost this game.
There is a meme that says only Kadarius Toney could turn this play into a pick 6. And that's tough to not laugh at, because he has both hands on the ball. Mahomes is like, yep, I got one here. And then somehow this ball ends up in somebody else's hand. That's tragic. There's nothing that you can do, nothing that you can say. But this is the thing, KDT. Number one, you're a Gator, so I'm rocking with you. You're going to have a bad game. It happens to everybody. We all have bad days. Bounce back, come back. You were just a part of you had a bounce back season last year. You were a very important part of the reason they won a Super Bowl. take a day off, get off social media, come back and do your job.
So you still think Kadarius Toney is better than what he's displayed? Because we have more evidence of him in the Super Bowl being an anomaly versus the rest of with the Giants. It was drops. In college, it was drops. In the pros, it's been drops. He's a very dynamic player, but he's now had 4 years of evidence that his hands are beyond suspect.
So for me, for what they traded to get Kadarius Toney, I think that they're on the right side of their investment. Specifically, he helped them win a championship last year. Like, he was a part of that. So, yes. I think they traded, a 4th rounder for him? I still think that he's better than a 4th round draft pick. 100%. He had a bad game, but I think he's
I said, do you believe in him? I don't care about what they paid for him. I said, do you still believe in him?
So
because he's got 4 years of drops now. 4 years. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4.
No, he was a good player. He was one of our best players at Florida. So yes.
But he played you at that's except for he dropped the ball. That was on his scouting report. I got it right here. That was on his scouting report. That was there his I think came out as junior. His sophomore year, his very dynamic returner, very dynamic with the ball in his hands if he can catch the ball. Then he goes to the Giants. Drops the ball over and over, but they scapegoated and said that it was Daniel, and then they just said, screw it, we're going to trade you anyway. And they traded him. Now he's with the Chiefs. He had 2 or 3 good games against the Chiefs. With the Chiefs, helped them win the Super Bowl. Comes back this year, first game, you right back to them drops, and they all are bad drops. They not, contested catches. They're all bad open drops.
I'm still team KDT all the way.
No, that's all I asked.
Yeah. Yes. I like it. And on a team with limited with a limited receiver room already. Yes. You had a bad game, kid.
Well, you the reason the room is limited. What you mean? They calling the room limited because of you. After this game, they are.
You don't. Nobody else really believes in the rest of those guys in the wide receiver room either, bro. They just had a shitty game.
But they damn sure don't. They believed in KDT. Everybody believed in KDT until.
Boy, are you telling me that the Jets got the ball?
Yep. But
if the
ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the football. We've come to the end of the football segment of episode. Ooh, they fighting. We've come to the end of the football segment of episode 119 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw Around the League edition. Give us about 2 minutes. We'll be right back with our final segment, our hoop segment. Talk about NCAA Kemoki as well as FIBA as well. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Nothing. Cool. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our final segment of episode 119 of the Splashcast Around the League edition, Monday Night Raw. Our basketball segment is the off-season. Kind of, sort of. You got FIBA. But before we get to FIBA, something well-deserved happened. LSU coach Kim Mulkey has received or agreed on a record new deal that, when finalized, will be the richest total in contract in women's college basketball history, $32 million over 10 years. She is a Louisiana legend, LSU champion, and she deserves it.
100% deserves it. She's put together a hell of a team. She's recruited a hell of a team and coached a hell of a team. All intents and purposes, I believe, for them to be right back in the mix for a championship next year and probably the year after that as well. Congratulations. We like when people secure bags around here. Great job.
Yeah, man. And it looks like you are favorited to win it next year too. It's going to be y'all, Alabama, South Carolina, and I was going to say the girl from, was it Purdue?
I can't. I know you're talking about, but I can't remember. I can't remember right off. I know you're talking about that.
Anyway, moving on to FIBA. Good news and bad news for us, I guess. Shout out to South Sudan, the historic first Olympic berth. They won and they qualified for the Olympics. No, we're not gonna listen to Malika Andrews talk, but South Sudan has qualified for their first Olympic berth, man. So that is always awesome.
Congratulations, and also they are doing wonderful things with basketball in Africa, man. They have come a long way very fast. They've done a lot to invest in those players in those leagues, and to now have South Sudan going to the Olympics as a berth. We were just talking about was the Jamaican women's soccer team, where you just got to give these teams an opportunity to compete. That's all they need. Once they get there, a lot of teams will immediately lift their skill level, and you're going to be able to find better players. So congratulations to those guys, and yeah, they'll be on our radar.
Yep. Canada defeated the United States in the bronze medal game. And it really wasn't close. I think Dylan Brooks scored 30. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played really well. RJ Barrett played well, as well as Nikhil Walker-Alexander and Kelly Olynyk, to name a few. They ended up getting bronze and qualifying for the Olympics after they will have after they had a little bit of a loss from qualifying for the Olympics a few times. It was a good game.
For me, SGA was the absolute best player in FIBA basketball. I think
they are saying he is now up there with Luka. Like, people are legit having the conversation that we've been having for like a year. Like, I will say our conversations had Luka up here and SGA down probably middle, and then every time we talk about it get like this. It get like this.
He plays
and
defense.
now they have FIBA, defense. And now that they kind of shut Luka down, to be honest.
Now I will say I think that Canada probably has a better team than Serbia. I mean, not Serbia, Slovenia, because they have so many NBA players. But also, I mean, SGA, he's continuing to raise his value. He's continuing to raise his abilities, and it's tough to find holes in his game. Like, Luka has a massive, gaping defensive hole. SGA really don't have that. He's a complete basketball player. Now, do I think that Luka's offense is probably better, and he's just gonna he can get you 10 rebounds a game? But SGA he's hot on his heels, and he's gonna be in better shape than Luka. Now that Luka is where you gotta have a coming to God with yourself.
Hold on, let me write this down.
You're losing.
September 7th, September 11th at 10:51 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, now you got a pen and you taking notes. What you writing down, player?
Norwood, for y'all that have followed the Splashcast and followed his love for Luka, Norwood has argued me down over and over and over again about Luka Doncic's defense. No, I have not. Yes, you have. You've posted. Oh, he's the best defensive. Has the best defensive rating. You've sent all of these stats or alleged stats to try to support Luka is a good defensive player. You just said at September 11th, 10:51 Eastern Standard Time that Luka has a gaping, massive defensive hole in his game. I just want to make sure that you said that.
Yeah, okay.
No, you didn't say compared to nothing. You said
you're not
massive
gonna me. I'm going to give you context. Yes, Luka has improved on defense, but he's not nearly as good a defender as SGA. But also, when I talk about Luka in defense, Luka also leads his team at points. He leads his team. Here we go.
He also leads his
whole
team
lot of
arbitrary.
He has to score all the points. He has to score all the points. He has to pass the ball to other players so that they can score their points. And then when they miss, he has to get the rebound. Yeah, he should be tired. But he should be in better shape. That's not arbitrary at all. That is factually.
I'm telling you,
that's exactly what arbitrary doesn't mean. These all things are in relation to his game.
Sure, Stephen A. Throw up all the 3, 4, 5 syllable words you want to try to cover up what you just said.
Yo, get out of here, yo. Arbitrary, that's what we doing. You better than that.
You said it, bro. I'm just, that's why I wrote that down, because you argued me down for the better part of 2 years. Anyway, moving on. Serbia.
The Serbs.
Serbs got second place. They ended up losing to Germany, but my man Bogey played out of his mind. He did have a sleeve on his knee. Hey, bro, you need to go sit in the hot tub with some Epsom salt and enjoy the fact that you made it to the championship game, but you only play no more basketball the basketball season. We don't need nothing wrong with that knee, bro, because we need that version of Bogey to come out and play. He played really, really well, and he led his team, and he was still talking trash to everybody.
And that's another. I'm conflicted on this because I really wish he would have saved this for the season. But it also puts him in a very compromising situation because he played so well in FIBA. So y'all, I do think that Quinn will probably keep him to about 20 minutes a game, but he showed that he can play elite basketball. And if you can get him to play elite basketball for 20 minutes a game, that's all we need.
Yeah. He's definitely a microwave scorer. Once he hit 2.
You got to give him a chance to do his thing. Because when given the chance, he looked like old Bogey.
Yeah, he did. And then talking about somebody that looked like their former selves, Dennis Schroeder, I think averaged 18, 8, and 5 in the tournament to play and led Germany to the FIBA World Championship by defeating the United States in the semifinals and then winning the championship against Serbia, the hottest team.
One thing that I will say about Schroeder is he's a damn basketball player. You might not like his antics, you might not like all the rest of his stuff, but if you want a guy who is going to give you his absolute best every chance he gets, Schroeder's a hooper on every level.
Lock Jalen Brunson down. He locked our guards down.
He ain't a quitter. He going to play to the bitter end. He going to play gritty, man. I respect the hell out of that dude. And I remember when the Hawks drafted him, I was tight. I was like, man, no way in hell we draft this dude from Germany with this gold patch in his head.
Yeah, we had Jeff Teague.
His whole career, he's done one thing. Do his best to just play the best basketball he can play.
Yeah, he's played.
Congratulations, Shooter. Well deserved.
Yeah, man, well deserved. And, it was funny at first, but this has got to be gratifying for him, especially after that whole debacle with his contract, where they offered him that much money and he turned it down and bet on himself, and then everybody joked at him about not winning and not getting the contract. This has got to be a little bit of gratifying, and he got a new contract. Talked about Canada before. Dillon Brooks, best defensive player in the tournament. He says he is, and I think they voted that to him as best defensive player in the tournament.
And this is my thing with Dillon Brooks. I hate that we live in this prisoner of moment society where people, if you see them have a bad game or you see them have a bad series, then suddenly they're headed to Shanghai to play for the Sharks. Dillon Brooks was a really good, very fun. He was a very Memphis needed him. Lack of a better term, I couldn't. They needed him. He was a good player on that team. He did his job, and then he did his job. If you really look at it, they didn't pay him a ton of money. Like, his value for his contract was fantastic. Then after the whole LeBron thing, they're like, oh, he's never going to play in the NBA again. And I was like, y'all sound stupid. He was still all defense. I can't remember if he was first team or second team all defense. Teams need players like that. And then he got over there to the Rockets, and now he comes to FIBA, and Canada is number 2, and he's the best defensive player in FIBA. Like, you put some respect on the dude's name. You might not like all the antics. I'll be the first person to say sometimes he does dumb stuff. But at the end of the day, the dude's a tough basketball player. Hell, he whooped our ass. He was 7-8 from 3, and was one of the reasons that we didn't get a medal.
Yeah, he went kind of crazy. The All-Star 5, Ant Edwards, Luka, Bogey, Ant Edwards, SGA, and Dennis Schroeder. Solid 5. I like the way Ant played. I think he played a little selfish towards the end, but I mean, when you the only, it's that Kobe kind of made selfishness okay when you explain that if I'm the only one that's working out, doing all the extra stuff, I'm gonna take the shots. I feel like that's kind of what happened against us, and
Jared
we ain't
Jackson
have
Jr., you gotta get in the weight room.
boy.
You can't average no 3 rebounds.
Jaren Jackson Jr. averaged 3 rebounds.
You can't do that. That's the one thing that I say about him and Evan Mobley is like you guys are definitely power forwards, but at your height, you're gonna have best for the team to be its best self. You're gonna have to learn how to play the 5 and be able to rebound and to be able to protect the post. Because if you have to put a guy there like your Jared Allen or your Steven Adams, then you're sticking a guy who has a shot profile that's going to be is going to be right there in the paint, and you can't play wide open basketball. You're going to have to man up.
Yeah, you can't do that. And Steve Kerr, you got cooked too because you ain't getting nobody. Now I will say, Rudy Gay made a point. He said, these guys look at FIBA international basketball way more respectfully and glowingly than they look at look at the NBA. So if you look at FIBA, these dudes will die to play for their country, where the NBA, it's more like they picked. After that quote came out, now I guess LeBron is upset that they lost. LeBron is trying to get basically all the stars from the United States to go out for the 2024 Olympics and play. Which could
now
be
the other part about that is a little tricky to me is the NBA players don't want to play in FIBA. It don't matter. They don't care about this. The best players in the world could have played in this FIBA World Cup. They chose not to because
Jimmy
there's
Butler
no
said,
gold.
I don't care about
this isn't
FIBA.
the Olympics.
Jimmy Butler said, I don't care about FIBA.
This is the best of what's available. So yeah, I think that's a little misleading. You're right. Now the rest of these dudes, they want to play for their country. Because everything to them matters. They don't, every one of these matters to them. The NBA guys want to show up for the games that matter. And that's damn near how they want to play in the NFL now. I mean, NBA now. Well, load manage me until we play games that matter. So yeah, they're going to show up. And then of course, they're going to put together this team of monsters for the Olympics. And then they're going to humble the world. And then those guys are not going to show up again until another Olympics. The rest of the time, you're going to have these guys in the middle who just want to play basketball. It's just that simple. Y'all can show up all the time. Nobody's stopping y'all from showing up at FIBA.
So, and then the second team was Valanciunas and a bunch of other players. Wagner was one for Germany as well. And I think you're right, man. Ain't no incentive to play in FIBA. You know what I mean? Like, international basketball, because I hate to say it, but we've dominated for so long. There's no incentive for us to go out there. And aside from Noah Lyles, the only reason it really got even more anything is because Noah Lyles said, y'all international champions or what? If he didn't say nothing, nobody would care. Nobody would care. People forget LeBron was on the 06 team that lost at FIBA. Then they got 08, got Kobe, and then, just destroyed everybody.
It's always this cycle. And somebody put it on the internet and showed it. But that's what it's going to be. These games don't matter to us because at the end of the day, America has the best basketball players in the world. And if they really pick all the best players in the world, they will make it so everybody else doesn't even want to participate in the sport anymore. If they really rolled out the all-star team they could, then yes. And I hate that people, once again, we live in this prisoner of the moment society where people just get up in arms about the stupidest things. But if you put Steph, KD, LeBron, Anthony Edwards out there as your starting lineup, it's over. I don't want y'all, don't get into this world where you think that, Devin Booker. Don't get into this world where you think that we're not the best. The best are just Kevin Durant is watching the U.S. Open. He's watching Coco Golf instead of playing FIBA basketball. And I don't blame him.
Yep. But, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of episode 119 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. Talked about HBCU news around the culture, had the pregame, talked about Coco Golf and the Braves, everything Atlanta, as well as we talked about NFL and college football, and gave you a running commentary of the Jets-Bills with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, even though the Jets are trying to pull this game out anyway. Norwood, if we didn't miss anything, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, as the summer comes to an end, that means two things. More black baseball, always supported. Speaking of black baseball, Mike Harris hit a home run, Ronald Acuna hit a home run, more black baseball. Also, get to the beach, more black beaches, learn how to swim. Number two, oh my goodness. Is Josh Allen going to be able to pull this off, or are we going into overtime? I know you're ahead of me, so you probably already know that the answer to that is probably going to be yes. Number two, more black cowboys and more black cowgirls. And then number three, the historically black college university your cousin went to, your auntie went to, you went to, your homeboy went to, send some money over there. The historically black college and university in your neighborhood as we approach homecoming season. The one that you go to for homecoming, step shows, to hang out, to be around your people, to tailgate, whatever it is, send some money over there. And then finally, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. Please just send $18.68 on behalf of the Splashcast. Please support HBCUs. Also, feel free to support the Splashcast. Send us some money. And me and Reggie just going to rock out for the rest of the time here to see who wins this game. Or, I know your TV is ahead of mine. Is it over? You can tell me.
No, I ain't gonna tell the people, man. We just gonna sign off, man. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all Saturday to pick more games, bet more beers. Like, follow, subscribe. Love y'all. Peace.
This is the Splashcast weekly schedule. You can find us on Monday Night Raw. That is the Around the League edition, where we cover all of the major leagues around the league. Tuesday is the ATL edition, Braves, Falcons, Hawks. Wednesday is when the playlist comes out. It's a Splashcast 24, 12, or 36-pack, just depending on the music. Thursday, for everybody who was not able to catch us live on Monday, they can catch up there on the Around the League edition. And then Saturday, of course, we bet beers for Saturday Morning Live. If you ever need to find us, we can be found at thesplashcast.com. And of course, via Instagram at the Splashcast.
Trigger, hold a finger, moving like a surgeon, got life and death in hand. Cause I done seen the serpents put a hit on their best friend. But ain't that the way it go? Either that or a raggedy hoe, or a rat-ass nigga with a rat-ass Y, working for them rat-ass folk. Repent to end the nil. The Bible says it's clear. My mama says it's right, but she think Jesus white. She working like a slave. Her preacher stupid paid. I'm trying to get stupid rich, trying to do stupid shit, trying to ball bitch forever, whenever, however. Old pride country nigga, campaign presidential. My goal is to be a winner. I'm grinding through the winter, cause ain't no Rolex ever getting bought with the word I might offend her. If you know what it took, all these risks, all these chances, streets helped me raise the goal and change my circumstances. Straight from the city, we done took it across the planet. I'm guessing that's how God works. No way we could have planned it, no. Mama, look at